So we're going to share that. And we're going to want to hear you guys' thoughts. Me and Deacon Class are going to give our opinions as well. But chat, fire it up. It's Sunday. Do you guys feel that the church has become secular?
People are trying to do. They're trying to love these people more than they love Christ and still claim to be true disciples. And will fool you. And there you go paying registration. Down there at the heathen gathering. And everybody stand up there practicing in a church gathering. Boots on the ground.
So as you guys can see there, Bishop Wooten talks about the Women Evolve conference. They were there actually supposed to be praising God, but they were practicing boots on the ground. I'm gonna start out with you, Deacon Class. What do you think the world is heading to? What do you think the church is heading to? What do you think about this?
Well, Brother Souls, if I have to be honest to correct my people, the church has turned into a business. The church has turned into a business. Y'all don't hear me. The church stopped being about work, about connection. You understand? The church is a gathering, right? So when we put that gathering together, there's supposed to be a frequency, a vibration that goes off, and that creates the antennas. In the word, does it say when there's two or more gathered
together,
we can have some church? So that look like a 10,000 gathered. But in the name of what? In the name of what? Let's just see.
Like Jezebel spirit to me.
Oh, but when I told them on TikTok, on God's TikTok, when I told them that the Jezebel spirit was running rampant, I got a lot of pushback. But all that power, all that energy in one building, that energy, if you put it on the praise and worship that y'all supposed to be there for, the healing that all those people who paid money to be at that conference were looking for could have taken place. But instead, we chose to do what? We chose to put on the conference. We put together the order of operations. I'm talking about the people who headed this event now. We put on the conference. We took these people's money. We took their tithe, the offering. I'm sure they sent the basket around of some sort. They taking Zelle at church. They got ATMs at church. Let's talk about it, saints.
Yeah.
So in this situation, with all that frequency in the building and all those people devoted time and resources to be present in that building, they sowed seeds to be in that building. In return, they got line dancing class, step aerobics. The devil won, didn't he?
Yeah. He continues to win. It's very unique to me. See, I seen this a long time ago, and I hate to say names, but on Sunday we have to speak the truth. I seen this really the most with Pastor Todd. Pastor Mike Todd. He came out with his book. I think it was like some relationship book he came out with. But if you watch any of his service, he always has a big elaborate show going on. He's also the pastor who spat in his brother's mouth on Easter service. I don't know if y'all heard about that. You heard about that, Deacon Classic?
Oh, I heard and saw it. I saw
it. So I noticed that, church has become a spectacle. I think it's very hard to not pay attention to what's going on. Like I actually seen something where I think it was Tyler Perry was putting hands on TD Jakes. He had TD Jakes falling out. When has the roles been reversed? And the word also tells us not to be of the world. We do a lot of worldly things. We play a lot of worldly games, and it's very dangerous to do these things. And as Deacon Classic and I always sit down and talk to you guys about is that A lot of you guys are fooled by those people who call themselves Christians. It's not a lot of Christians out there, guys.
Classic.
It's not a lot. And if you really look up, nobody is really Christ-like. So when you really break down the word, I don't think none of us are Christians. We might try to work in that direction. If that's what you believe in, you might be working in that direction, but no one's perfect. So there's no Christians out there. But this is a very dangerous thing. And I always notice that the women are the easiest to be influenced. Let me say that one more time. The women are the easiest to be influenced. Why would you think it's appropriate to do boots on the ground at a church conference? Come on, the chat, y'all quiet today on this Sunday morning. When has it become appropriate to do line dances at a church conference? When I was little, we had lock-ins. You had to know we had games where you had to run up and know the verse and the Bible verse, and you had to know the words to every Bible verse. You had to know certain songs. We played fun games that actually taught you who God was. And now we playing boots on the ground. Next, we're gonna be playing pin the tail on the donkey?
Classic.
I would hope not. But yeah, it's turned into entertainment. I think a lot of old-fashioned folks, who grew up in the old-fashioned, especially the Southern churches, where, when they saw the emergence of productions like what Kirk Franklin brought to the forefront back when Stomp was big and GP, Are You With Me? And all of that was going on. You had some elders at that time that pushed back against the idea of all of the robust and all of the just the smoke and the fire and there was pushback at that time. I recall it, and I think like I discuss often, when you allow people to start things, you have to understand already before you press go on this, before you make it socially acceptable, where do we stop it? What's the demarc? What's the cutoff? What's the limitation? Because then how far do we allow people to take it? You just said there was a pastor that spat in his brother's mouth. That was for virality. That was for virality. That was to go viral. And when you in service moving like that, so it's I think that a lot more folks that are rooted properly need to be a bit louder. Let the if we want to discuss solutions, right? Because has the church become secular? I think we agree, yes. But we always try to have solution-based conversation. So Brother Souls, I would say bring back some of the smaller churches. The church I grew up in was my grandfather's church. We probably had, I'm talking about on a booming day when it was busting, might have been 50 of us in there. That's full. It's full. About 50 of us in there. And I'm talking about everybody came. And there was no choir. We were the choir. One person led song service. They start the song and everybody joined in. And the members were the choir. We sang together. And naturally, because we black folks, everybody in there was black folks. Naturally, there was a band. One person started hitting their thigh. One person started clapping. Somebody else, they done brought a little tangerine in they handbag. All of a sudden you hear and next thing you know, we in there and it's busting. Oh, it's like, what I mean? And so we didn't, and it was just like that every Sunday. And that's what we came up in. And my grandfather, when he ministered, it was always about 30 minutes long. He said anybody stand up there talking to you for an hour in a sermon, they finna start telling you how they feel. They ain't speaking for God no more. He said if they up there for an hour, they telling you how they feel. Yeah, so that's what he stood on, and the message was always to the point. After the service, if somebody asks you, what they talk about today at church, you could tell them what books, chapters, and verse he came from, because it was that on point. You know what I mean? You left with the message in you. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't so much extra. You bringing folks up on stage, showing demonstrations, how to catch me. I mean, do what you got to do. Your style is your style, but I think the production of it is taken away from the connection that
Yeah.
that some folks really truly need to heal, because that's supposed to be a hospital, right? That's supposed to be a spiritual and emotional hospital up there. You know, but instead you get a concert. Go ahead.
But I think a lot of these pastors too are trying to use their antics as their excuse to get members or get those broken people into the church. That's what you hear a lot of. Is like, we're supposed to take people as they are. Like, everybody take these scriptures and take them out of context. You know, it's different when you think about the story of the man that they raised to the roof of Peter's house that was disabled. That's what they mean by come as you are. When the man was waiting by the troubled water and he thought somebody had to push him in, that's what we talk about, come as you are. The woman who waited on God with the issue of blood, that's what we mean by come as you are. Not mean that you're supposed to be out here going to the places and encouraging people to think your church is now the place where they need to hang out because their lifestyle is accepted. When I think about church, I think about Onyx.
You think about what?
Onyx.
Club Onyx?
Yeah, Club Onyx.
Yeah.
I think about Club
that?
Onyx. I think about church today. And people are like, what do you mean? Well, for those of you who haven't had the opportunity to go to these places, you know, Club Onyx, you know, it is an adult establishment.
Amen.
There is women there, you know, that are dressed as adults.
Classic.
Same thing you see in the church today. There's people wearing things that you would never seen in a church house. Today, I'm dressed like your best pastor would be. You know, I got a name brand, church brand. I got a Scully on. This is how your pastor is in front of you today. Hey, let me show y'all something. Let me add something to the state. You see this right here?
Yeah.
We getting haircuts in church, y'all. Let me show you some. See, we got evidence behind the words we're
I
providing.
think if God tells you no, you're getting punished. Instead of if God tells you no, he's protecting you. You think if God doesn't allow you to get the position you prayed for.
And he's not getting he ain't playing around with his head, y'all. He literally giving him a full cut. Look at that hair. He's literally lining him up, tapering him. This is a full cut.
That somehow he hasn't heard your cry, but he actually is answering the prayer you didn't know how to form in with your lips. By not letting you get into a position that you would be locked into because he knows you're a people pleaser. And if you got that position, you wouldn't leave there for 15 years. And 3 years from now, he's going to open up the actual destiny step that you need. So he told you no now to lead you to the place of purpose. But if you desire comfort at the expense of desiring the cut, not from anybody just regular, I'm talking about from God, you will miss out on what God has for you. I wrote it down like this because I just came back from the beach and I wanted to give a praise report. I know we don't do testimony service anymore in church, but I want to give you a praise report. I've been to the beach a lot of times.
We don't do testimony service because we too busy getting haircuts.
Now, why they don't do testimony service no more?
Because they too busy getting haircuts. We don't have time for y'all don't even understand how they have changed the concept of church. When I was young, kind of like what Deacon Classic said, I did the same thing. We went to 8 o'clock service in the morning. Then you turn around and go to Bible study or Sunday school, as we called it. Then you went back to the 12 o'clock service. Then you went over and ate. The ladies in the kitchen got everybody right. You didn't get out of church about 3, 4 in the afternoon. Back in the day, it didn't even matter if you was a football fan. You missed that first game. You was not catching any football back in the day. You gonna catch that 3 p.m. game. That's about it. But it's crazy that now this dude is on this thing. And I could show y'all a million videos from him. A million of them. And he's one of the most popular and probably the most wealthiest pastor there is. And I want to tell you guys something too when you think about this stuff. Think about it. This is your money being used. This is your tithing being used. For churches to put on the spectacle, they have to use the money that you're providing. You think that barber went up there on that stage for free?
No, he probably got paid $400 for that table.
And he did 3 or 4 services. Pastor Todd does about 3 or 4 services a Sunday. So he did this full time. Yeah, y'all know they cut hair to others too. They cut hair to others.
That's church meets TikTok.
Mhm.
That's church meets X. You know what I'm saying? Like this is church meets the internet. You know what I mean? Because now and that's why I'm not really a big fan of mega churches. I'm not a big fan. I'm not going to, say that something's wrong with it. I'm just personally not a big fan, because when I look around and I understand business to a degree, I'm not going to make myself seem like a master business guru, but when I look around and I see the production and I'm looking at the size of the facility, I'm looking at how many lights y'all got up in here, I'm looking at how many members in that choir, I'm looking at how many people, how many band members you got, I'm looking at the pyrotechnics. I see the little crew that y'all got sitting in the middle of the crowd that got a view of the stage, that's handling the lights, the sound, the microphones, all of that. I'm looking at how many people in that crew, and I'm just putting it together how much it's costing, per Sunday, just to, like you said, just to run this thing, just to have this thing powered up with all the pieces that you got. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm seeing all these members coming here, and it's like, ain't no way you can't preach about prosperity. You got to keep this engine going. You know what I mean? There's no way that you can't, you know what I mean? The healing part of it got to be secondary. We got to make sure they feeling good when that basket come around, regardless. You know what I'm saying? And so yeah, the business of church, I think is one of the things that we need to figure out as a people in regards to how we want to, because I remember the last time I went to church, and I'm not a frequent church goer. I grew up in church. I'm not a frequent church goer, but the last time I went to service, it was at probably like a mid-size. I wouldn't say mega church, but close. And when I was there, they literally had the big screen up there with the projector, and it was showing. When it was tied to offering time, it had a sign. I'll never forget it. It said the 4 ways to pay. And then it had, you could put bread, like cash, you know what I'm saying? And then it had like a little parentheses at where the ATMs was located. Then it was talking about, it took cash out. They took like Venmo, PayPal. They had like however you want to give it to us, check. You feel me? And I'm looking like, and I just saw that on the screen, and they came around to me, hey, yeah, because I'm not, listen, what's going on? You know what I mean? So I have questions, I have concerns, because you always have to look at the so-called shepherds.
Yeah.
Today's time, the so-called prophets of today's time. It's scriptural that there will be some semblance of an antichrist, right? So you have to see which one of these pastors going to get big enough to lead the sheep straight in off the cliff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's scriptural now that there's supposed to be some level of a almost to the point where he's being worshipped like a second coming. Like so who is it gonna, you know what I'm saying? When you able to hold the attention of 4 crowds of XYZ thousands per Sunday, and you getting a lineup while you teaching to me off an iPad, you giving me God's word off the iPad while you get a lineup. And then I'm supposed to give you 10% or 20% or listen. And then they don't just want your tithe. See, that's what I'm saying. The business, they ask for the tithe. Then it's another section, love offering. You see what I'm saying? Then it's another section. Getting there, you laughing because you know I'm right. By the time you get done paying for parking, it's like that. It's like that at these. By the time you get done paying for parking, you know what I'm saying? Tithe, love offering. They had a guest minister today. We want something for him, right? Right. No, yeah. By the time you left church, you spent $400. It's the same as getting a section at the club at this point. I'm just let's talk about it. We got comments though, Norris. We got comments. Hey, shout out to the chat, man. Chat 333 in full effect. And the Souls chat in full effect. Soft Rain said, like the stream, comment below, share with the friends, subscribe, and more. We love it. Joe Jess said 333. Shout out to Joe. Soft Rain said it doesn't take all that to teach God's word. Come on, you talking now. She said, I know the evolution of church is important, but the word hasn't changed. The production isn't needed to put it out there. My question to you in regards to this is, do you feel like the production helps or hurts, or it doesn't help or hurt? How do you feel about the production though, Soft Rain? She said they are paying for the entertainment. So they want a concert. So I thought we wanted healing. I thought we wanted connection. Ken Smith, shout out to the Classic League. What up? International. Ken.
Classic.
tapping in from Abu Dhabi. Chris Dale said, good blessings. Yes, Lord. What up, Chris? We ain't seen you in a minute, dog.
Classic.
Sunday serve us in full effect. What you got in closing, brother Souls?
This I want to preface with this. Me and Deacon Class, we're not here to bash the church.
No.
We want to make that clear. We're not even here to bash Pastor Todd. But we are here to let you know this is why it's important to read for yourself. It's important for you to get into the word, know the word. Because it said in the beginning was the word, and the word was God, and the word come on, y'all. We got it. This is first, these are basic things. Get into the word, because then things like this won't even be acceptable to you.
Classic.
That's the thing that the word teaches you. The word gives you guidance to know that when I walk into this place that we call church, this is not the way for me. This is not the place for me. And don't worry about people calling you a church hopper and all that. You got to learn the word for yourself so that you can have discernment enough to know that this is not the place for me. Because if you don't read, if you don't educate yourself, you will continue to you'll become what is it? I call it a product of your environment. Because there's people I know personally, I won't say names, but there's people that I know personally that goes to Pastor Todd Church that I knew years ago that went to another church, my old church back in Louisiana, and I would never thought they would do the things they're doing now. And they were taught right. And this shows you how easily people are influenced by what's popular, by what's trending. And that's what we're here to do on Sunday service. I know some of this stuff might come off as we're bashing people or we're going hard on people. Hey, who knows? Pastor Todd might have saved a lot of lives. But if those people he saved actually get into the word, they won't be members for a lifetime. See, it's okay to go somewhere and get a message and become saved. But once you become saved, you need to understand if you're in the right place or not. Because there's a crackhead every day changing his life after he overdosed in a crack house. There's a man or woman in prison every day finding God after they done murdered or after they done hurt somebody. There's people in bad places doing bad things that still find God. We've seen it in the word. There were bad people who found God. So it's not about how you find them, but how are you going to live your life after you find them? Don't live your life after you find them by staying in the same environments that you found him in. And that's all I have for my people.
Yes, Lord. I like that, man. I think we can end it right there. I think it was a great discussion. I'll just say my quick closing piece too, just to preface it. I'm just all about like accountability. I think that when I'm very open about the fact that I'm not tied to a specific religion, but I very much so believe in God. And so I'm more so about, if we grew up in this book, we grew up studying this book, and it says certain things. And if you're supposed to be living in accordance to the things that it says, you shouldn't be mad at the messenger that's tapping you on the shoulder saying, hey, you claim to be such and such, and you visibly in front of all of us doing the opposite. So not only are you responsible for your own soul, right? But no pun intended. But you're responsible for those that may look to you as a leader or look to you as an example, look to you as a mentor. If they can see you out here tweaking, and claiming to be one thing one day a week, what pattern are they going to fall into? So we just got to be responsible for each other. If that's the belief system we're going to tap into. So, that's all it is. I just wanted to, put my disclaimer out there too. You feel
Deacon, before you move on, you got some good comments there.
Okay.
Kind of go with the topic before we move on to the next.
Let's get it. Soft Rain said, I think the production is needed to pull the younger generations in. Miles Batchelor said, people are willing to buy a ticket to heaven.
Miles, where you be? Miles.
Classic.
Yeah, that's the main reason for using the production. Okay, I feel that. Miles Batchelor said, whatever the price,
Classic.
Miles, man. Miles said they willing to buy a ticket into heaven. Ooh.
Man, I ain't got. Hey, that's a whole nother. We gonna have to bring that back.
Yeah.
We gonna have to bring that back.
Yeah, that was a good one though.
All right, that's what we got for the opening message. All right, if you like what you just saw, support the channel. Make sure you subscribe, like, and jump in the comments. Talk to me so we could crack these codes. If you want to support the channel monetarily, go to my website and cop some merch, www.theclassiccodes.com, or you can shoot me a cash app. Either way, stick to the codes.
Classic codes, I ain't taking it slow. Forgive me, Lord, I woke up in that mode. Weathered the winters when left in the cold. Harden my heart and now harden the flow. They don't